Today, we're going to talk about how to specifically coach your team to become A players and the future leaders that you need. So first of all, if you're looking for an A player, you need to know what that means. You need to have a well-defined meaning of what A player is. So I first put together a document about the role and responsibility of this particular position. I put 5 KPIs, key performance indicators, that I sometimes refer to as the 5 pillars of success. Now, these 5 pillars really represent the 3 components that we spoke about in previous videos: people, process, and the product or outcome of what this team is doing. Now, what we do is, if you're talking to a leader and you're trying to coach them on what to do and you're setting their 5 pillars of success, what I do is I focus on 2 of the 3. That's why I make it a 5 pillar and not 3 pillar or 6 pillar. I'm allowing the coach to put emphasis on 2 of the 3. Now, generally, for leaders, I have them focus more on people and output, the product that they're doing. Now, as a leader, I need you to focus on yourself and your team. And just like everybody else in the company, I need you to focus on the output. Now, if you're an individual contributor, I have you focus on process and output, the product that you're doing, because everybody in the team needs to focus on the product, the output. However, I need you to focus more on the process that you are disciplined to follow or help create or even make better. Now, each KPI, each key performance indicator, needs to be objective and not subjective and measurable, preferably through a number. Now, before I give this document to my team member, I ask them to come up with a document of their own. And I see if their document matches my document. Now, when they come back and they may have some more points that I've missed, great. So I take those points and add it in. Great, thank you, I missed those points. Or if I realize how far off the definition of their role in my eyes is versus what they see their roles' responsibilities are. So this tells you the level of disconnect that you may have with your employee. That's number 1. You're not communicating well. What you're expecting them to do, they don't realize is part of their responsibility. So having a well-defined document that lists off key performance indicators that are objective and measurable clears the air so that everybody knows exactly what is requested so that they can deliver on those. The next portion of this document is where I ask them, you now know what I request of you. And these 5 pillars of success will make sure that you are doing well in this company. Now, my question to you is, what do you need from me and your team members to achieve these goals? And as long as those requests are reasonable, I'm going to deliver them to you so that you don't have an excuse not to deliver on those KPIs. The last part of this document is where I ask them, what are your goals? Where do you want to be in 5 years? The ambitious people who will tell you exactly what they want. I've had employees come to me and say, I want your job. And I said, beautiful. The more you take off of my plate, the better. So let's get you there. And I don't take offense at all with them saying they want my job. Because guess what? That person is going to make your life the easiest. Now, periodically, whether that's once every few weeks, once a month, once a quarter, I meet with every individual and I score the 5 KPIs for them from my perspective. Again, these are objective KPIs, so you should be able to back it up with data and show them what they're doing well and what they could do better at. Now, this is really just for coaching. This isn't for ramifications, do this or else. It's really so that they understand where they're at. Are they doing well? Are they not doing well? And if they're not doing well, how can we help improve? Give them recognition on a good job. However, on the bad areas, you want to say, hey, this is where we have room for improvement. And they need to understand we're not looking at a single data point. We're looking at a trend. Let me give you an example. If you have a C player operating at a low level, but they're trending up, that's a good thing. There's improvement there. But if you have an A player and they're trending down, you're worried. Maybe they're on their way out. Maybe they're looking for another job. Maybe they lost their passion. So it's all about a trend, not a single data point. So it's important to make sure that you come up with an action plan based on the feedback you gave your team member so that you could follow up next time. Now, before you end your meeting with them, you need to make sure that you go to the feedback tab. And again, this is a very low-tech solution just to explain how simple it needs to be. You don't need to over-engineer anything. Now, the feedback side of this meeting is basically for your team member to give you feedback. And basically, you come up with these metrics. And generally, I keep it the same for everyone because what matters to people are always the same. What's different is the how. But everybody wants to have meaning in their work. Why does my position even matter? Ownership and autonomy, just to make sure that I can carve out something of this process, something of this product that is mine, that I have autonomy over to make certain decisions to see if I can make a win here, to make sure that I can own the success of a particular piece of the project. Everybody wants to feel acknowledged. Even the ones who claim that they don't care, everybody appreciates a thank you and an acknowledgement, especially if it's amongst their team or the entire company. And coached. It's extremely important that they feel supported, that they feel growth, that they feel that they are being given feedback to help them grow, to reach their potential. And it's extremely important that that's a continuous process, not just a one-time deal. So what we do is we come in and we score each one of these, and we have the employees score this either ahead of time or during the meeting. And we look at the average, and you could see, things started pretty stable in this instance, and then there were some issues, some interpersonal issues that got rectified, and now they're back on track. And so you could see these trends, but the idea is the coach themselves, in this case you, need feedback from your team. Now, if you're coaching 5 people and one of the 5 is having problems, that may be isolated to this one person. However, if I go to a director and I see all his reports, all his direct reports are all showing low morale, that means there's probably something wrong with the director, and I need to do a good job coaching the director so that he can fix the culture in his own department. The old saying, you give a man a fish, you feed him for one day. You teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. So when your team comes to you with questions, now remember, you've already given them ownership, you've already explained the meaning of their work. When they come to you with questions, make sure you don't just give them the answer. Now let me be clear here, you should have answers. You shouldn't be oblivious of what's going on. However, you shouldn't feed that to them because you're making them dependent on you. You're not teaching them critical thinking. You're not teaching them to make a decision and measure its success or failure quickly and adjust. Tell them you need to come with a problem and a suggested solution. And even if you know that they're slightly wrong, that they may make a mistake that's not so devastating to the business, let them make the mistake. Let them make the mistake. The investment that you make in a small adjustment and learning from it is extremely valuable. It'll save you so much time in the future, and that person will then help you educate the others. Here's one very important point I make to anybody who wants to take ownership. And this idea really resonates in the book, Extreme Ownership. If you want to lead an initiative, you must take responsibility. I'm not saying take blame. I'm saying take responsibility. If a decision was made and it failed, regardless if it was your fault or not, I'm not looking for fault, I'm not looking for blame. I'm looking for responsibility. Me as a manager, I'm looking for team members who will stand up and own it and say, I will fix it.